So, of course, 5 finals to look at today. The start list for the men's vault. Eric Bagdasarian will be getting us underway. Armenia well represented as ever in these World Challenge Cup events. So lots of familiar names on that start list, as well as some youngsters to look out for as well. Well, there is the ominous sounding bell signifying the end of the warm-up.
Representing Armenia, Eric Bagdasarian.
Eric Bagdasarian of Armenia, the 18-year-old. Won gold for his country in this event on rings last year. Can he translate that to the vault? Oh, well, that is a disappointing landing. The chest down, ending up on his knees. A disappointing first vault. He qualified in 5th position with a 13.7, and that landing will elicit a big deduction in terms of the execution. Just didn't get the chest up in time. Pressure's on now for vault 2. Competed at the Junior Worlds in Antalya last year. Now making his move into senior competition. Steeling himself in preparation for this crucial second vault. His coaches and team looking on.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Armenia, Eric Bagdasarian, second vault.
12.733, a disappointing score for the first vault. Oh, and much better for the second, just a slight step back with the left leg on landing, but he's certainly atoned for the earlier vault. Although in a high-quality final such as this one, you suspect that penalisation for the execution of the first will hit him too hard to be in with a chance of finishing in the top 3. Nice form throughout the air. Feet nicely pointed, legs tight together, and a pretty solid landing as well. So a 12.733 for the first. You suspect that the second will score higher, but of course, given it is an average of those 2 scores, the overall average will be dragged down. He looks relaxed nonetheless. Well, much better for the second, and 9.2 for the execution, which is far, far higher, of course, than the first, but still gives him an overall score of 12.966, which I would say rules him entirely out of contention for a medal. But Bagdasarian of Armenia sets the score. He sets the bar for the rest of the athletes. Paul Schmelzer of Austria next to go, the 20-year-old, making his debut at World Challenge Cup level. Positive debut indeed to have made the final. Coach looks pleased with that one. You could see in the air, though, it looked in mid-air as though he was almost veering off to the right. He was travelling quite quite dramatically to the right. It looked like the landing was good. The slight hop forward in terms of the axis throughout the air, not entirely straight and true. Coach happy with it though. He scored a 13.475 in qualification, qualified in 8th place. He actually had an operation 3.5 years ago that required shoulder surgery on that left shoulder, but has certainly made a full recovery in those 3.5 years, back to competing at elite level. Always difficult to have those setbacks. Paul Schmotzer readying himself for vault number 2. Well, that is a huge score for his first vault. That would have seen him qualify in 2nd place. The highest qualification score was 14.7. So that is an excellent first vault. Can the Austrian emulate that for his second?
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Austria, Paul Schmeiser, 2nd vault.
Oh, and another good landing from the Austrian. Confident and composed, he gets the congratulations of his coach before he makes his way over to the waiting area, while the judges tot up their scores. Look of absolute determination across his eyes on the run-up. Good speed up the runway. Decent height off the top of the table and nice form in the air. The axis on the second, much straighter than on the first, sticking within the tram lines, and that was very positive indeed from the 20-year-old Austrian. .750 overall, lower score for the second, dragging the overall total down by quite some margin. Just up on his overall score for qualification. Well, listen to the cheers going up around the arena for their home hope, Dimitar Dimitrov. Bulgaria's Athlete of the Year from 2018, the 27-year-old. Finished 6th on vault in this event last year. Second best in qualification. Well, that is such a shame. He almost looked in disbelief there as he realised he'd landed on his backside. And that will incur a heavy penalty. He got fantastic speed on the run-up. You can see the coach behind, frustrated on his athlete's behalf. Well, his best result this year has been 8th on the vault in Cairo. He also competed at the World Cups in Baku and Cottbus. Didn't make too much of an impact in either of those, but will be bitterly disappointed with that first vault, given that he was the second best in qualification with a 13.925. He needs to shake that one off, put that disappointment behind him, because this is a brand new vault. He Needs to regroup, refocus.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Bulgaria, Dimitrov, second vault.
Well, he really stuck the landing in that one. Just a slight hop forward, but far, far more positive from Dimitrov for his second vault. And I think that's probably a better way to end the final, ending on a positive note, rather than end with the bad landing and have that be the one that you remember. Much better from the Bulgarian. Not quite the same speed up the runway, perhaps he modified that. Good form throughout the air, the legs tight together. And a good landing as well. Well, he looks pretty dejected, doesn't he? The shake of the head. Clearly hopeful of a medal coming into this, having qualified as the second strongest. 13.533 puts him in second so far, second of three. France's Nicolas Diaz took silver on the floor yesterday, so he's having a very good weekend so far. Took the silver behind Dmitry Patanin of Kazakhstan, the 19-year-old from Chambéry. Third best in qualifying with a 13.9. Oh, well, that was a fantastic vault. The coach knows it as he pumps his fists in celebration. Powerful, composed. And he sticks the landing as well. Nice tight tuck in the air. Well, it's a big score for the first, 14.5. The highest score so far. Very different second vault. Wasn't travelling quite as true throughout the air as he was in the first, but two very solid vaults indeed for the Frenchman. 19-year-old salutes the crowd, certainly pleased with his efforts out there. And you suspect that he has just vaulted to the top of the standings. Deviating slightly from those tram lines. And a thumbs up for the camera, and why not? So 14.5 for the first. Diaz, who finished third in qualification, but we've seen that Dimitrov, who finished above him in the qualifying, hasn't been able to live up to those same standards, so you suspect that this vault final is wide open at the moment. Well, the next four athletes to go are currently warming up. 14.1. Diaz is in the lead as things stand at this midway point. So 14.1, the score to beat, and that is higher than his score in qualification. So he will be satisfied with that, no matter what the result at the end. It will be Vladimir Kostyuk of Ukraine who gets us back underway. He leads the charge for the next 4 athletes to go on vault. He is one of 2 Ukrainians in this final. Nazar Chaperny, also representing the country. Familiar name on many start lists in these World Challenge Cups and World Cups. This is Botond Molnar of Hungary. He will be last to go. Plenty of support, of course, for the host nation in this arena in Varna. We saw fans with their flags held aloft yesterday. And again today, which is wonderful to see. Great to see as well so many youngsters watching on to friends, family and the general public. And of course, the athletes cheer each other on from the stands as well, which is really wonderful to see that kind of camaraderie.
Walk is over, good luck.
Vladimir Kostyuk next to go. Finished 6th in qualifying with a 13.550, the 20-year-old from Dnipro.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Ukraine, Vladimir Kostyuk.
Last competed in Varna back in 2021. And then it was only on the floor. He didn't make it to the final, but it is good to see him back in Varna and good to see him in a final as well. He also competed at World Challenge Cups in Cairo last year, so it's excellent indeed to see him competing once again at these events after that hiatus. Oh, and that is a shame. Similar landing to Eric Bagdasaryan of Armenia. Both landing on the floor. He had such incredible speed on his run-up. We saw Bagdasaryan modifying that pace on his approach for his second vault, and I wonder if we'll see Kostyuk do the same thing. He was part of Ukraine's silver medal winning team at the Junior Worlds in Hungary in 2019. He's 20 years of age now, so made a successful transition from the juniors to the seniors. Now, can he forget that disappointing first vault, shake that one off and produce something special for his second?
Representing Ukraine, Vladimir Kostyuk, second vault.
Oh, well, it's much better. Nails the landing that time. Again, such incredible speed on the run-up. Good height off the top of the table and a true straight line throughout the air. Landing well within those tram lines. Let's just take another look at this. It's so much more positive than the first. Maintains his form in the air really well. Slight hop back on landing, but he will certainly be pleased with his second effort. 13.4. Overall,
Representing
gets him into
Mongolia,
third place as things stand. Sukba Kembaya, one of two Mongolians competing in Varna this weekend. 22 years of age. A nice landing indeed, finished 7th in qualifying with a 13.525. He's also represented his nation at the World Championships. He competed in Antwerp last year in all events except for the vault, interestingly. Didn't make it to any of those finals, but nevertheless a wonderful experience to be competing on the biggest of stages.
Representing Mongolia,
That's a high score for his first. Can he emulate it for his second? Oh, so graceful throughout the air, and what a wonderful landing as well. The slightest of shuffles. He maintained his form very well indeed, and you suspect that he could be challenging Nicola Diaz at the top of that podium. .525 was his qualifying score. You suspect he will have bettered that here in the final, of course, where it really counts. 13.7 for his first. Eagerly anticipating the judges' verdicts. 13.466. That gets him into third position. As things stand, he just edges out Kostyuk, who got a 13.4. Nazar Chaperny is next up, the vault specialist. The best in qualifying by quite some margin with a 14.7. Bronze medalist in Antwerp at the World Championships last year on vault. European team champion, vault bronze earlier this year in Rimini. Oh my goodness. We couldn't have predicted that. Of all the gymnasts to go on this apparatus, Chaperny is the one that you'd bet your house on sticking the landing. By far and away the best in qualifying, by far and away the most experienced on this apparatus. And it's very disappointing for him indeed, but it really, really means that this final is now absolutely wide open. Nicola Diaz of France will be rubbing his hands together, thinking that his position at the top of the standings is safe. Chaperny just adding some extra chalk there to the vault, can't afford any slip-ups, or any further slip-ups anyway.
Representing Ukraine, Nazar Chikorny, second vault.
A shot at redemption now for Chikorny. Oh, and he does it that time. Big cheers for the Ukrainian, who absolutely sticks his landing, more than makes amends for his first vault. His form in the air as well was really wonderful. Nice tight tuck. Good height off the top of the table, and that is as good a vault as any. .383. He has got himself into the lead.
Representing Hungary,
He leapfrogs Nicola Diaz to take the lead, despite that botched landing on the first. Last but not least, Botond Molnar of Hungary, 5th on the floor yesterday. This is the second final he's competing in over the course of this weekend. 8th in this event last year. Oh my goodness, what a save. 4th in qualification with a 13.725.
Representing Hungary, Botond Molnar, second vault.
A very similar landing to the first, 3 big hops back. Crucially, he does remain on his feet. He needs to beat 13.7 if he is to get himself a place on that podium. 13.2 for his first. You suspect that that might be a bit of a big ask. Botond Molnar rounds out the men's vault final as he makes his way towards the waiting area, where we eagerly anticipate the judges' scores, but it is a 13.7 that he needs to beat to make it onto the podium. It is currently Nazar Chikorny who is sitting at the top of those standings. 13.366. So not enough for Molnar to contest those podium places. So it is Nazar Chikorny of Ukraine, the highest scorer, despite that botched landing. He knocks Nicola Diaz of France into the silver medal position. So that's a double silver medal for Diaz this weekend. Successful weekend for the Frenchman. And Paul Schmolzer of Austria makes up the podium. He will take the bronze. The women's beam is our next event, but before that, it will be the award ceremony for the athletes that we have just seen in action. Led out by Paul Schmolzer of Austria. Nazar Ciperni, the familiar face on the vault podiums, in the middle, claiming gold.
Third place and bronze medal, representing Austria, Paul Schmolzer.
Paul Schmolzer claims the bronze on vault in his debut at a World Challenge Cup competition.
Second place and silver medal, representing France, Nicolas Diaz.
This is the second silver medal of the weekend for the Frenchman, Nicolas Diaz. He adds the vault silver to the silver he won on the floor yesterday. Well, who else but Nazar Ciperni atop the podium despite that disappointing landing for his first vault. He pulled it out the bag for his second, and he claims the gold.
Second place awards, President Bulgarian Federation of Artistic Gymnastics, Vice Olympic Champion Krasimir Dunev.
Второ място награждава президента на Българската федерация гимнастика Красимир Дунев.
First place award, FIG President of Technical Committee Artur Mickiewicz.
Първо място награждава президента на техническия комитет към ВИК Артур Мицкевич.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise up for the national anthem of Ukraine.
Huge congratulations to all the medalists, Nazar Ciperni, Nicolas Diaz and Paul Schmolzer. Big smiles for the cameras. Of course, these photographs, as well as their medals, will be a great memento of their achievement here today.